Well,
that's my 80. That's where I spent 80% of the time.
I think you missed the part about the 80% being where it's working for you.
It's working fine for me. I look great in the reflection. Like I figured out how to tuck my stomach and everything. It's fantastic. Past the shadows.
But yeah, I do like that. But yeah, the ideal though is that of all those platforms, like you still want to bring them to your mailing list. You still want to get it so that even if they all shut down, you have their contact information, a way to reach out to them. But there's a great book called Fanatical Prospecting, and it's all about the fact that anytime you go to reach out to get business, right? Whether it's B2C, B2B, for us, obviously it's B2C. We're selling to consumers. Anything that you do now, you're not likely to see a result for 60 to 90 days, right? So you need to be constantly reaching out. So by the time that 60 to 90 days have passed, you're also constantly getting turnover and you're getting people that are interested in consuming your content, right? So like you need to be on those platforms all the time, and specifically the ones working best for you, like Instagram for the art world, like that's probably one of the best ones. Pinterest is another one that I bet most people are sleeping on for when it comes to artistry. Like that's a huge one. When it comes to like LinkedIn, for example, like that's a big one just for organic traffic. Like one thing Greg and I are looking at getting into is creating, like using what we've built, like our connection with artists, to reach out and sell that to other people to fund the other stuff we want to do. So even utilizing those platforms in a different way to, move services as opposed to just our artistry.
So I'll say that. No, go ahead.
I think
that was just your echo.
That was you talking.
That was
Was that I'll say that platforms are all well and good, but if you're not actually saying anything, it doesn't fucking matter what platform you're using. Your voice is something that you need to work on. You need to work on.
Get him, Gary V.
You need to actually have something.
Get him, Chucky P.
Chucky P.
I want to hear you,
man. I'm hype manning you. Go, Chuck. Go.
I don't know if you've watched me. I don't need a fucking hype man.
He is.
That's the last thing I need.
You see this hat, it's backwards. I don't need a hype man.
No, man, you're on it though. Continue.
Find your voice. Get yourself out there. I mean, if you guys watched the Bilal 2 campaign, I was on every fucking show. I was out there all the time. I found pretty close. Yeah, I was even on your show once.
Twice, actually.
It was probably twice. But I got out there on every show I possibly could. And again, my voice, what I'm trying to say, the way I say it, my sense of humor, like there's a certain brand and a certain expectations that people have when they think of a Chuck Pineau project, what he's going to do. And that's kind of something that I've tried to bring to what I do. When you pick up something that I'm going to work on, you have a certain expectation. And I've created that by showing the kind of guy I am, showing the kind of voice I have, and the kind of person I am, and putting that on paper. And so by doing that and kind of streamlining all of that and then getting out there and in a lot of ways pounding the podcast, so to speak, and speaking up and advocating for others is another thing that people don't talk about an awful lot. But supporting other projects and really kind of becoming a member of the community, all those things are huge. And so, certainly the platforms are great and all that kind of stuff is terrific. But if you have nothing to say, it won't fucking matter what platform you're doing.
I would definitely say they go hand in hand. Yeah.
See, here's the thing, Chuck. As an artist, I talk with my pictures, so it's hard.
I disagree. I disagree because when people see your art, they'll be able to say, "Oh shit, that's Matt's," and especially like the certain way that you work. I feel that actually artists have it a lot easier than a writer, and so that's why like artists don't tend to do as many podcasts. They don't have to go out and pound the way the rest of us do. And that's because your art tends to speak for itself. And a lot of times, again, not trying to attack artists because they're the lifeblood of the industry. We love them and whatnot. But a lot of writers and creators and whatnot, they're the ones showing that stuff off. very rarely do you have an artist who's like, "Hey, man, check out this guy's writing. It's awesome." Like, see, I can't even make it through the fucking sentence because that shit doesn't happen. He's not like, "Oh, this line is awesome." No, he's not. He's like, "Look at the fucking work I did. By the way, there's a word balloon there. Ignore it. It's covering something cool I did." You know what I mean?
It's covering something cool I did.
Too many words over my pictures, man.
So yeah, I think especially for writers, you need to find your voice. You need to get it out there. But for artists, your voice is in your pencil. So the style and what you do and what you're showing, all that stuff is a part of that.
Pencil, got it. Okay, sorry, you fuzzled out for a second. I heard your voice was in your pen.
Okay.
So when you talk about comics, specifically comic creation, because all these audience building techniques are for anything. But talk about comics specifically. What it tends to be is a writer tends to pay the bill, so an artist can do it. But that writer, though the artist does more work, the writer is supposed to be that marketing guy. So you got to figure out how to do that marketing guy. And if you don't do that well, as I've seen, you don't have a good experience. You don't have a good thing. People don't understand money and how much it costs to make comics. Like they don't.
Oh, my brother does not. After he read Ink.
This many.
Yeah, after he read Ink, he's like, "Where's the second one?" I was like, "You have $3,000." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it's figuring that out and explaining that to the fan, especially when you're talking to a crowdfunding audience. And respect, and understand. Actually, let me revise. Forget everything I said. That was all Matt talk.
That was me. That was definitely me.
I don't remember anything. Let's start
know the audience that you're going for. Like like Josh said, know your normal, like if your normal area or family. That's a different type of pitch than the local comic store or crowdfunding. So each of them have their own. And the problem is, people come to me all the time. How do you get into stores? Well, I change my pitch. The difference is you don't change your pitch, right? You're continuing to post it like it's a Kickstarter. You want them to pay $10 for a comic. That's not going to apply. So what's more worth it to you, to sell to more people and build a larger audience, or getting as maximum amount you can for a comic? Because you can't have both. So you have to choose. Yeah. And for me, I try to, I bend over backwards to make sure I have a good retailer relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I do is very a tactic out of Chuck's playbook is when I sell it to a retailer, I'm not just selling to a retailer. I'm selling it for the retailer. Like, hey, you want it? Cool. When is your program? When are you going to try to sell it? How are you going to try to sell it? Do you need it signed? What do you need to make this special so it'll sell in your store? Because I don't want to just be another comic at the end of the Marvel and DC run that nobody looks at. I want to be top focus and important to your store and the community. And you've seen that. You've seen that with the variant covers that I've gotten. The reason why on my last campaign for Voodoo Nations, we had 5 variant covers. It's not because I'm better than anybody else. It's because I maintained those relationships. I built that relationship. So when it came to there, Travis Gibb books sell at my store. How can I build this better? Oh, I'll make it even specialer by giving it a cover. And then I have to sell that, which is, by the way, just as hard as Kickstarter. Selling to Jen King, who does Space Cadets, selling her 150 comics that she got, just as hard as running any Kickstarter. But it's worth it because I'm building those relationships, and eventually someone of value is going to see, hey, this big store is all in on this indie guy. Why? And hopefully there'll be profits, and then I'll succeed. Chuck says it anyways. I mean, he that's what he tells me.
It's true. It's true. And especially with the stores, you're speaking a different language, because of course you're going to want to talk to them about your book, give them your elevator pitch. Hell, you're going to want to give them a digital copy so they can read it and check it out, or maybe a loaner, like send them a physical copy for them to actually hold and check out if you can just give them one. But you're also going to want to talk to them about, here's the MSRP. This is what you can sell the book for. This is how much I'm going to spend it for you. That means that when you get this package, your chunk of the meat is this much. All that kind of stuff. It's a totally different way of selling, but you're now speaking business person to business person, and so you have to change your tone. You have to change your sales pitch, everything. It's less about building fans, and it's more about, I have fans, and you can take this to them, but this is what you're going to get out of it when you bring it to them. So it's another way of doing the same thing.
You're also going to find those stores that you really connect with, because there's been a couple that the relationship's different than the other stores that we give our books to, in the sense of the level of support that they're going to show you is quite a bit different than the other retail support. So that's just a matter of personalities. And, all of us have different personalities, but we're all weird because we're all comic book creators. But, you're going to hit those connections, and some of them you can just tell there's a little bit something different in that connection than some of the other ones.
Well, yeah, you guys made me think of a really good point, is like the long lost Comic-Cons that hopefully we'll go to once again, and kind of like just dumbing it way down to, when you're sitting at a con, you're sitting at your table, you don't treat every person that walks by the same. You don't pitch to them the same way. You get a little kid that walks up to your table, you're going to talk to him differently than you're going to talk to, maybe a really famous comic artist comes walking by and talks to you. You pitch to them differently. You talk to them differently. So having that kind of attitude, applying to what you guys are talking about, like, talking to stores, talking to, other creators, you're going to resonate with them differently, and knowing how to be adaptable to all those different people. That's huge.
Well, and that also goes with know your audience. Like when you're talking about being at a convention, I'm not going to try to sell Belial 2 to some little girl who's walking by in a fucking My Little Pony shirt. It's just not going to work. So certainly being able to detail and see, hey, does this person
She's a hardcore metalhead.
Yeah.
Right? Well, but and see, I remember that happening. Like I have Welcome to the Void has a lot of heavy metal references and stuff. And so a dude walks by in a metal shirt and I'm like, hey man, I think you really enjoy this a lot. And I'm able to pitch to them that side of it. And so, again, especially at a convention, you're able to tell right away the kinds of things they like because of the clothes they're wearing, or the characters they're cosplaying, or the stuff that they're carrying around. You get to look at the fan art they bought and all the different things they bought. What are the things they can like? How can I connect to that? And so all of those are clues that you can put together to realize if that person is going to be the kind of person who's going to want your stuff.
It's I Spy Comic-Con edition.
Absolutely. It works, man.
Well, yeah, you're not going to go take you're not going to walk into a Christian bookstore with like a heavy metal,
Belial.
really Belial, exactly. And I mean, hey, maybe they love it. You never know. But it's knowing your audience and talking to retailers. That's knowing your audience, knowing the type of place you're walking into, and not just, hey guys, sell my stuff. It's maybe you get to know the place a little bit better and get an idea of what they sell, if it's local or if it's a little bit bigger. And it's just all a part of knowing your audience.
Just tell them you're trying to reach the lost Chuck, and that by the end of the 4th issue, they'll be converted. You just got to get all 4, and then you'll know your soul will be ready, and you'll be ready to convert.
It's true.
Well, it's okay though, because Chuck's book is based on biblical principles.
It is.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's why I was like, maybe they would like it.
You should go to a church and just pitch your book.
There's even Aramaic in it.
Right, there you go. Just say if they don't like it, just say if you translate in original Greek, it would be fine.
Yeah.
If you play it backwards, there's a hidden message.
Play a written word backwards.
Oh,
I'll just tell them Belial backwards has got his love, so you're fine.
All right. Oh, Chuck, let's address Trish. We love you and Mike. You guys have been a great benefit to both of us. We love that you show up on our streams. We talk about it when Chuck and I are on the phone. Like, you guys are great. Like, so happy that you guys are in our fan base.
They never call us.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't call me either.
Cool,
I only call Chuck and my wife. Like, literally, if you look at my phone. I should probably call my daughter. She's 18. She probably misses me.
He calls me so much. He calls me so much that his
Chuck's dodging
child
calls.
has started butt dialing me.
Yes,
His child. And there was one day where we were all on a stream together, and he was like, "Oh, this is Remy," and everyone's like, "Oh, hey," and I'm like, "Hey, Remy," and he's like, "Yeah!" He knew who I was as soon as he heard my voice because we've chatted on the phone so many times.
Hey, Chuck, have you ever ignored his calls?
No, because I'm always hoping it's his kid.
Mhm.
I'm like, Remy, what's going on? It's Travis. Oh, okay.
Oh man.
No, Chuck don't ignore. He's answered on the pooper before. He's like, I'm pooping, but we can talk. That's fine.
That's dedication.
You know.
No one knows where to go after that.
That's
I know, right?
whoa, okay.
All right, end the stream.
I just think
Good night,
Travis
everybody.
Matt is 5-1. I just want to make sure it's 5 me and 1 Matt, right? I just want to make sure.
That's annoying.
I promise if I fight Matt, Aaron, I won't hurt his hands. So you can keep drawing.
Yeah,
I
can I
can
get
fight
paired
you
on
with
2
both
first? please?
hands behind my back, Travis.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, and
Somehow it'd
that's
be weird.
kind of something we didn't really talk about is that
Fighting
certainly
people with our hands behind our backs.
You know, like, how do you really get a 5-to-1 ratio?
What's the betting?
What are you betting on?
5-1.
I'm just zoned out right now.
so Matt and I fight. 5-1.
Travis and Matt fighting over Sigs.
dude, I know
He's
Matt enough to know that he fights dirty. So
Pocket sand.
Wow.
Okay, Chuck.
So, yeah, building your
what
audience.
really didn't
Yeah,
we
so
cover?
building your audience.
Building
Use
all
pocket
that.
sand.
Look at that. Chuck's got like the face of disappointment.
no, I'm
He's-
good.
he's
No,
waiting for the fight.
he's got
Yeah.
the parent face of waiting for us to shut up so he can
Yeah.
talk.
No, I'm good, man.
Well, we're fighting over the 6 to give so he can give them to Wendy, so it's fine. Like Wendy's the other one as well.
Yeah, Frosty does sound pretty good.
Mm.
Frosty.
All right. What didn't we talk about? Chuck, did you mention that?
Dunkin'
I
Donuts.
don't
Yeah,
remember.
Chuck, don't you have something going on or something?
Yeah, Essence House.
I
You
do.
should probably-
I'm doing
you should-
Essence House right now, which is
Yeah.
our audio drama that we're currently turning into a novel.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
Which
I'm
again-
doing at his house.
Yeah. Cat's
she
doing
is.
it.
She is our editor, and she's so far so good. She's been really super helpful, being on streams and whatnot, and helping us with our Kickstarter. And then we literally, I think it was 2 days ago, Eric and I finished the final 2 chapters of the book. Really kind of hammered them down, and so now we're getting it all ready for Kat to come through with her red pen and make it even better. So yeah, that's
I bought
come
a
together
brand
really
new
well.
pack just for it.
Well,
You're gonna
actually,
need 'em.
Chuck, can you talk about, since we're doing audience building, we got 3 minutes left. Can we talk about the model of giving stuff for free before you launch and what that looks like? I think that's a good audience building tactic that
Sure.
can be used in comics and in audio.
Certainly. I mean, yeah, obviously, like one of the nice things that we've been able to do with Essence House is even at this time, it's like, hey man, if you want to check out Essence House, the first 18 chapters out of 20 are on all the podcast networks right now. Like, there's no reason why you can't drive this puppy most of the way, empty the tank pretty much, and then say it's either for me or it's not. So it's already out there. With Belial, as we were revving up for Belial 2, I had a couple people get in contact, and then they're like, hey man, I've heard about Belial. I'd really like to pick up issue 1. And I was like, you know what, man? Why don't I just send you a digital of issue 1? And if you really like it, you can pick up both. And I know that some people might be like, well, you sold yourself out of a sale. Yeah, but I sold myself into an upsell. I gave them something free. And I told them, you mean so much to me that I'll gladly give you this thing for free, which you can enjoy. And if you like it, there's even more there. And for the most part, it worked really well. Like it was very good to us. So, yeah, man, giving free stuff. Now, you gotta certainly limit it, especially if you only have one comic. You don't want to be handing out your book to everybody because they're like, I read it. Why would I want to buy it now? Like, what's the point? So,
Yeah, Mike, I'd say that was pretty funny. Mike listened to chapter 18 the other night with us and hadn't listened to the first 17 yet. So,
hey,
But hey, 18 hooked him enough that he wants to go back.
Well, and that's the thing, right?
So
Is that even being able to do that, and that's something that we've been doing. So with our after shows, we will play that current episode. So like episode 18 just dropped a week ago. So just last Wednesday, we ended up playing 18 live for people, and then we talk about it, answer questions. If anybody new was there, you could explain to them kind of a little bit of what had gone on, and hopefully that gets them. So, certainly giving free stuff away helps an awful lot.
Yeah. Honestly, if you only have one comic book, like if you're, as long as you plan on making more, your second one could get much more easily funded and begin a series of funding for future ones by giving away your first one for free.
It could, but you could also, there's also kind of like, if you're giving it away for free, is it worth anything? You know what I mean? Like there is kind of that, sometimes that gets to people.
I'm going to say what Chuck's meaning to say. We have seen comics that looked really good, and they've shared it with us beforehand and made us not want it back.
Yeah.
Flat out. Like,
amen.
Well, that's the one thing I was going to say.
To talk to them and maybe fix it, so there is a value there. But
yeah, the one thing I was going to say, though, is the fact that, like, if there's something I really like, even if they gave it to me, I'm going to go buy it. Like, I don't know how many times I bought a CD, and then I bought that as a record, and then I bought that as like an MP3, or, like I bought the digital version. It's the same thing. Like, if I really like the series, I'm going to go back and buy it. That's, and make it multiple times.
It's true, but that's not necessarily a normal thing. And when people do that, that's a hardcore response to one thing. Like, you're not going to do that with everything. You know
but if it's good,
well, then
right, that's what you're after.
That basically means what you're telling everyone is, okay, so if you're going to do something, just do it good. It's like, do it, okay, good advice, thank you. Like, make sure it doesn't stuck.
Yeah, I wish more people would actually take that advice.
It's good advice.
Do it good.
Because some people just go, I'm just going to do it. It's okay. And I'm still going to put it out.
But that was, I was on a panel once for what not to do in indie comics. And my first thing was don't put a product out until it's absolutely ready.
Yeah.
Right. Because how many of us have seen people who have, say, rushed to finish a book to get it on a table for a show? Because I've got a table, I have to have a product. And then the book is absolute garbage. It ends up in a box somewhere or thrown in the trash or whatever, and you never go back to see what else they've done since then.
Yeah. I have to say, like, I've seen things, like I saw a Kickstarter not too long ago where they had finished pages. Well, sorry, not finished. It was colored pages and then the script.
Oh.
And it was like 2 or 3 pages and then the script there. And I was like, oh, okay, but why couldn't you guys have lettered this? Like, come on, we know how long it takes to letter something.
But
you know what I mean?
Even if say, they were up against
side by side on the screen.
They say, hey, it's I'm going to launch on this date. Again, your product's not ready.
Yeah, it doesn't instill any amount of
push your date back a week or whatever it's going to take.
I guess I don't know. The problem I've been having with that ideology lately is that the entire point of Kickstarter itself is to fund the creation of a project. So I think there's a fine line, because I think as a creator, you want to have. It also comes down to who you are as a creator. I'll say that. Because for us, like, there may be stuff that we launch that's not completely finished by the time we launch, but we know ourselves enough to know it's going to get done one way or another. So for us, it's out of the question.
Well, and I'm not saying necessarily you have to have your entire book finished, but if you've got 3 pages you're showing off, then have those 3 pages
have
complete.
those 3 done. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have to show that you have skin in the game, that you've done the work. So if you're able to show me 3 colored pages, but you're not able to letter them, spend the $30 fucking bucks and the 3 hours of work and letter the motherfucking pages. It doesn't take that long or that much money. I'll give you the $30 for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like, it really doesn't. It doesn't take that much. I'm very passionate about this one.
As I say, do you feel the same way about proofreading? Because if you just want to keep handing me $30,
Yeah, right.
I'll keep
Hold
pumping
on,
out the issues.
let me put
for
that
you.
in my phone. Chuck's good for $30.
I am good for $30. 31, you can go fuck yourself. But 30,
I mean,
dude,
30 is exactly what
30
I
and a
charge.
penny.
that's exactly what you'll
30
get out of me.
Oh, so 30 is exactly what I charge to proofread a single issue. So
Mhm.
if Chuck's good for $30, guys,
There
You guys
go.
all get proofed.
Any last minute thoughts or takeaways or anything?
Build your audience, yay.
Actually put out a product.
1,000 true fans. Yeah. We didn't really mention that, but
Mailing list.
Yeah.
Mailing
Mailing list.
Mailing
Yeah,
list
but
and
see, here that
1,000 true fans.
1,000 true fans, just so you know,
Mm.
have to be willing to spend 1,000 a year. That's the part that people don't talk
100 a
about.
year. 100 a year.
that should make
100 a year. You're right. It's 100 a year. So that's the big step because, when you're doing Kickstarter, you'd be surprised. Sometimes launching too fast, people get stressed out. It stresses people out. Sometimes it doesn't. Like, you got to be careful on what it looks like. Chuck just lives off Kickstarter, so therefore, if he leaves, don't worry about it. That's Chuck's strategy.
My
He's
my
like-
big kickback on Cthulhu is huge, guys.
Travis will talk later.
One of the things that we've been doing and enjoyed, we had Ryan for Shimmy Comics on after his Kickstarter to do like a recap since he was a Pearson Comics convert, and then tomorrow for the list-SeerNova we have Matt Cargill who's doing the comics. So I know all you guys know him now, but he's another one that just did his first campaign, is utterly crushing. And so we like having that little stuff now where we can have someone brand new to the scene. So it gives all of us an update on what it's looking like for brand new people. So that'll be tomorrow at 1 on list-SeerNova's
Cool.
Yeah,
Jammy
and
Jam
I'll
here.
just be in the background eating or
Okay.
sleeping.
Greg, when'd you get here?
I don't know.
I didn't even know you were here.
Greg, do you have 1,000 true fans?
No, I have like 4. I know like 4 of them. They're not family.
Oh man! See, if you can get them outside of family, that's good.
Yeah.
I said to my mom. I said to my mom, I was like, "Oh, I got a horror comic," and she said, "I don't like horror." I was like, "All right."
Never mind.
Dude, my
Mom's
parents,
not a true fan.
my dad opened up Welcome to Everville, and he got to the page 3 or whatever where all the body parts are on, and he was like, "Oh," and then he just gave it to my mom, and my mom was like, "I've had dreams worse than this."
Yeah, she read the first Seer Chronicles, and she's like, "Is there supposed to be this much swearing?" And I was like, well, "That was Dylan," but yeah,
It's good to have a
like
partner, right?
Spider-Man. Yeah,
Always blame it on Dylan.
yeah. Just
I
blame
just
it on
wait till
Dylan.
my parents were dead before I started comic book. It's way
Smart.
Smart.
Huh?
I
Great
just-
note
Disappoint
to end this
anybody.
on. That's a great note to end this
Disappoint yourself.
conversation.
I just
That's how
dis-
you build your audience. Wait till your parents are dead. And
Exactly.
Get that
Hey,
pop
thinking of
phone.
comics? Thinking of
shoot, I
comics?
screwed up.
Let your parents die first.
I just
Good slogan.
skipped ahead and disowned mine.
Smart.
Just like
Yo, this is getting really depressing.
Really rough.
My
building
parents are
audiences
awesome.
here. We're building audiences. It's fun.
but I would say I do have it.
Don't do it, Chuck. Don't do it. The Kickstarter's not over yet.
It's okay. We still have 2 days left.
Yeah, you
So
can
the
travel
thing
back
I
in
wanna
time.
end with to tell you guys, which I think is important, is don't ever worry about talking to your audience too much. Because people worry about, hey, I messaged them too much. I did too many updates. I did this. Some of those people will leave, but they weren't true fans anyways. They weren't people who are going to stick away. Because anyone who gets what you're doing knows you have to sell to make a living, or you have to sell to make that next thing for them to enjoy. So if you lose 1 or 2 to gain more people who are really loyal and want to come on that journey, do that, because that's really important. And that's what's going to help you get over that hill. It's not going to be those people who are just like, man, I only like you if you only send 2 emails a month, if you only tell me things you like. Greg hates us and kicks. Oh, fuck. What fuck, Greg? No, never mind.
Do anything
I'm
yet.
not- my ending is no. I'm done with Greg.
Josh is gonna draw soon, so
You know what?
Yeah, I'll be
We'll go
drawing.
do our own show. We'll go do our own show.
I'm at
See
point
how
though
we-
about like not sending out too much stuff. The other thing that people don't realize is Facebook, Instagram, all of the social media platforms, they will only show the amount of content that someone is willing to engage with. So if you post 1,000 times a day and someone wants all 1,000, it will keep showing it to that fan if they keep liking it and commenting on it. And if they do it maybe 50% of the time, it'll only show them half of your stuff. And like that's what people don't realize too, is that social
1,000
media
posts
will,
a day, Matt. Write that down.
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You need 1,000 pieces of content. Hashtag Gary V.
Yeah, 1,000 a day.
Hashtag when do I actually write?
Never.
You don't.
Zach,
you don't.
You don't. You're
You
just
just write in
a
your
post.
statuses.
Comments. Listen,
I just-
comments are out the window. We're just creating social media content.
This is what I'm selling right now, guys. 1,000 Facebook posts a day.
I literally have a current client who I'm giving 5 pages at a time for, and it seems ridiculous. Like, I don't even know how that works. Like, I'm not giving the full script. I'm just like, I don't have time to write you a full script. You get 5 pages at a time. Draw them, and I'll give you another 5 pages.
All I heard from this
I'm
panel.
doing that right now too with somebody. It's 5 pages at a time. High five, Travis.
Go down,
You're
go down.
supposed to go down.
I'm just waiting for my artist to get done with whatever he's got going on with his 3 other projects. so.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just fill the time then, I guess.
Leave Jerome alone. He's lettering all my stuff.
Jerome's doing Cthulhu, so he's like, I'm really busy. I'm like, yeah, you can just wait till next
So
year.
Travis is like, I'll take the hit.
Greg, if you think he's done a Cthulhu, you are out of your goddamn
As your proofreader, that makes me raise an eyebrow. Like, how many more do we need to do?
How many stories are in there? How
You're
many
done,
stories
Pat.
are in Cthulhu?
I'm done. Woohoo!
There is 20 individual stories. There's also prose poems. There is also prose writing. So there's a few things. Kat hasn't seen all of that. Some of the stuff you've already done all your work. You and Wendy are all
Okay.
done.
Okay.
Finish it off, and then we have a final proofer who we're having a look at it real quick. Yeah, you're done. So yeah,
I
there's
see
20
how it
stories.
is.
56 creators is what it ended up being.
That's insane.
Blessed. Not one of them.
Mostly all pen names of Chuck, just for the record. It's all.
I know Shimmy.
If you like the story, Chuck did it probably.
Yeah. I've been going under Stoney Williams for weeks now.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on.
Well,
Thanks for having
I
us.
know what Josh can draw. So Josh is going to draw.
Yeah, Josh is
I'm
gonna
gonna
draw,
draw.
and you guys can stay if he wants you to stay. You can
Yeah,
stay.
you guys do
No, I'm
whatever you
good.
want.
No,
I will
Josh is
sidetrack.
like,
I will
no.
I
sidetrack
was
him
super
so hard.
excited. I was going to be like, I'm going to private talk with Matt and Aaron when
Right.
you get off, but apparently,
All right, guys, we're gonna do another private stream. We'll send a
Everyone
link.
jumps off.
Oh,
No, it's gonna kick us all out. We can't talk anymore. It's gonna be. I'm gonna miss you guys, man.
There's the link in
Tomorrow.
the description. It's Travis's OnlyFans. That's where the private stream will be.
Oh, the private stream.
His only fan, not only fans, because he got one.
So, Josh, what are you drawing?
I'm drawing some mechas,
Some mechas.
robots.
Gundam.
Oh, okay.
In disguise.
What?
I mean, I could do some Transformers. I'd be all over that.
Uh-huh.
Squares,
Yep.
man.
So it's a whole bunch. Squares and rectangles. That's all you got to draw, and boom, G1 Transformers. You're
Sorry,
done.
was I not allowed to say that?
What a
You
writer
guys
thing
must
to
know a
say.
lot of Transformers artists.
All right, Greg, kick us out. Say goodbye. Have us do it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Chuck's just left.
Leaves.
You're not gonna get
Okay,
kicked
like,
out. I'm
nah, I'm
leaving.
All right,
leaving.
now that he's gone, you know what?
You guys can
Let's
stay.
talk about Essence
Honestly,
now.
Honestly, that artist, he's gone for another hour. We got time now.
You want the down low on Essence House?
Yeah.
Yo,
I
full
missed
screen
Chuck
cat.
already. Where'd Chuck go?
Chuck kicked himself out.
You don't want to be here anymore.
God.
I don't want to be on this stream.
I'm just trying to catch up with people, and I don't even know Josh, so I don't even. He's got a nice beard though, and I'm okay with that.
I know Josh.
Yeah, I
Hi,
apologize, Josh. There's a lot of stuff that we do in streams that you're not aware of because you're not on Beards and Bro. You got to join the beard a couple of times, and you'll understand.
He also stole our logo. I'm gonna grab it.
Oh, what are you doing to me? What are you doing?
Why is your hand inside of
Why
Matt?
are you inside of Matt?
I don't like that.
You're saying Josh made the SeerNova logo because that is not squares. So
That's
that's
not squares.
Obviously.
It's not Mecca. It's not Mecca.
You do
It's
the
not-
end. That's it. That's it. Just the end.
Just the end.
he made the comics part or the Seer part. And did you misspell? Is it supposed to be Sears?
Sears, no.
They went out of business. So.
Bring that catalog back, though.
That's how you build an audience. Take somebody else's
Just take
name.
Sears. Be like, wait, wasn't that like a store? Nah. Right. Oh, wasn't it?
No, you need to get that catalog. That Sears
this is
Nova.
mine
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. We're gonna call ourselves Caldor or Caldor.
Dude, you should
I'm
see
Radio
that
Shack
Seer
Comics. If you
catalog.
didn't
It's
know,
pretty
Radio
good.
Shack Comics.
We're Walmart. Have you
Travis,
ever heard of us?
Travis, you're gonna like this. Earlier, I was listening to their stream, and Greg didn't know the literary definition of seer,
Oh, it didn't. Not at the time.
which is part of his company name.
With that note, I should leave because that's embarrassing, Greg.
Gotta go.
Oh, I'm like,
There's
Honestly,
multiple definitions.
Oh God!
the StreamYard duck was laughing at him.
The what?
You see him up there in the corner, that StreamYard duck? He was laughing at him.
All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
See ya.
All right, bye, Travis.
Oh.
Later, guys.